Hello!
And welcome to Contest of Content,
The podcast where every episode we pit a beloved TV show
and a beloved movie
against each other in 3 high-stakes and utterly stupid battles to the death.
Our guest judge will choose which contender reigns supreme.
The winning champion will receive unending glory.
$1 million in gold cougarons.
And a night with one of our parents.
Any parent, it doesn't matter.
And this week's guest is our good friend,
comedian,
and he has an IMDb page,
Jon Morrow.
Oh, hello.
Are you excited to be here?
I'm so excited. This
Thank
is
you.
amazing. Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
for
me.
being our first guest.
Very first guest, very first episode of Contest of Content.
Contest of Content.
That's the name of the show.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't be able to do this very drunk because contest of content is tough to say.
It's hard to say, so we're just a little drunk.
I've had 6 shots and I'm not saying the title of the podcast again for the rest of this.
So the concept of the show, we each choose a champion. We switch off choosing movie or TV show. I'm the lucky lady with a movie this week.
This week I have a TV show, and what we do is our judge here will be the ultimate decider, but we are judging these pieces of TV show and movie on 3 completely random and kind of irrelevant criteria.
We picked them out of a box.
To be fair though, you made a
made a
fucking box for
Mega box.
this.
Yeah, don't low tech it. That's high tech
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
She
you
made
do
a
lot of
box.
work.
It's a high-tech cardboard box with
Corrugated?
high-tech. I mean,
12 gauge?
it's a gift box
Yeah?
from Target.
That's pretty-
Spirit brand.
I just imagine you giving like everyone at Target like a really fucking hard time about like,
Always.
the box.
Yeah.
Go in the
excuse
back.
me, what is this box made out of? I need to know the exact ingredients. The ingredients and what is the box recipe?
We need to call China. Somebody put China on the phone. I know
Did
they
you do
made the
that?
box there.
I didn't do that. I just bought it. I did use my Target red card. Shout out Target. Please
Okay.
sponsor us.
There we go. Love Target.
So
Yeah,
this
sponsor us.
week are 3 battles that we ended up choosing.
They were chosen by random.
We picked
at random.
Yeah. We just by drawing them out of that little box, not looking. We picked them and then picked our
Champions
champions.
based on the criteria. We tried to pick a TV show and a movie that we thought would have the best chance to win.
Right, so you knew ahead of time.
Yes.
So then you were able to base, like,
First-
what is the best thing I can come up with?
Yeah, what
From
TV
these
show
categories.
can I make the best arguments and best debates and best cases
Sure.
and win each round?
Right.
Yeah. And what fits all of these. So our 3 battles that we are going to contend with today.
Yes, we are contending
are
upon
best friends
Warm Fuzzy Feelings,
and the closer best penis award.
Best Penis Award,
Always the
closing it
closer.
out. That'll probably always be the criteria for every episode.
So I was a little worried at first drawing these out. I think they're a good combination of battles. I like that we're doing all these, but I was worried that the best penis award was going to be kind of an outliner. I was going to have to like bullshit an answer or like bullshit like some explanation for why my pick fit that.
Yeah.
But I ended up coming up with something that fit it perfectly, fit all 3 perfectly. And
But you based it on the penis?
I actually focused on what movie has a good penis. And what I came up with is the beautiful and strange romantic fairy tale directed by Guillermo del Toro, the 2017 Best Picture winner, about a military facilities cleaning woman who forms a special bond with a captive amphibious creature, also known as the fish fucking movie, The Shape of Water.
So much fish fucking.
Special bond with a captive amphibious creature, also known as the fish fucking movie, The Shape of Water.
So much fish fucking in that movie.
That's such a great choice.
There's
man.
that's a good
perfect.
choice.
So good.
Yeah.
Well
now,
done.
I didn't know Shelby's choice until right now. We kept this a secret, as will we always, so that we don't know what the other person is. Oh, God damn,
And then
that's
I
good.
just
That's
get to
really
see
good.
the look of delight on Nick's face
Yeah.
right now.
Man, that's
Yeah.
really good.
I would be worried.
Yeah,
You should be worried.
that is
I'm gonna fucking win this.
Yeah.
now. God, there is some really good penis. I mean, but you don't see the penis. Okay, that's a good choice. I
Hey,
love that movie.
save it for the battle, Nick.
I'm getting ahead of myself. I love that movie. It's
Great.
a very good movie.
I'm glad we've all seen it.
I had TV show, and upon hearing those, I kind of quickly had an idea. Like, it kind of came to me pretty quickly, but then I tried to put it out of my mind a little bit because it seemed too easy to.
Right.
But I also wanted to go with a TV show that I knew pretty well because I wanted to be able to quickly have as many things to talk about. And I really think that this ends up being the kind of perfect choice. And it is the 2009 Dan Harmon created sitcom about sitcoms, Community.
Hell yeah, I have
So
seen
good.
that.
Oh man, this
We've
is
all
a
seen it.
Awesome.
this is gonna be a battle for everybody to argue about as loudly as possible.
Yeah.
That is Nick. That's also a fantastic
It is a great
pick.
choice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of my favorite programs, and I think it'll go. I think I've got some good things. Actually, hold on. We can totally cut this out, but I couldn't show you this whole time. But I wanted to drink coffee out of
Oh,
this.
you brought your community mug. Oh, you just poured your.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. You just poured his coffee
literally
from
bought
one
the
mug
exact
to
same
another.
mug for my wife.
It's a
We have
great
the same
mug.
one.
Our first episode, our first
first-
battle,
our first contest.
our first contest of content is going to be The Shape of Water versus Community. And let's get started with that. Round one.
Round one.
I'll go first.
Movies will go first today.
Right.
All right, so our first battle is best friends. Now, in The Shape of Water, Sally Hawkins plays Eliza, who, in an IMDb description of the movie, someone referred to her as having, quote, literally only two friends. It's like, first of all, as if it's like, okay, it's okay to only have two friends.
Yeah,
It
like,
is.
it's
It's
not
totally
that bad.
fine. We're not friend
More than
shaming
most
here.
adults have.
And
Yeah.
her friends are really good. So the first of which is Zelda, a fellow cleaning woman played by Octavia Spencer, who can translate all of, and her friends are really good. So the first of which is Zelda, a fellow cleaning woman played by Octavia Spencer, who can translate all of Eliza's sign language because Eliza doesn't speak. And so Zelda translates all of her sign language. She holds her place for her in line to like punch in to work. When
Which is
Eliza shows
super
up
nice.
late every fucking day, and Zelda just stands there at the front of the line holding everyone up, waiting for her to come, which, like, if one of my least favorite positions to be in is, like, holding a seat for someone when they're late to, like, a performance.
That's
or
so
it's
Gives
nerve-wracking.
me
I hate
never-ending anxiety.
Right.
Everyone's staring at that empty seat when
Yeah.
they walk in, and you know they're thinking, oh, well, who does she think she is?
Exactly.
Being able to hold. You can't do that.
I-
it's the worst.
Honestly, it's
It
one of the
makes me
things that
shudder.
broke up my marriage. And
Fair.
But
Fucking-
Zelda does it apparently every day for Eliza in this movie, so you know. The other friend is Giles, played by Richard Jenkins, who
So good.
is
Richard
amazing.
Jenkins.
Yeah, he's great in everything. He's great in
Great
this.
in everything.
And for him, Eliza goes and eats dumb pie, like just so he can go creep on the pie slinging guy he thinks
pie
is
slinger,
hot.
yeah.
The pie slinger, yeah.
Totally
The
forgot
sexy young pie slinger.
And the scene is so sweet when Eliza's eating this key lime pie. She's just like putting it in her mouth and then spitting it into her napkin. And
It's disgusting looking.
Giles is just like, we'll save it for later. And she like doesn't object her. It's so sweet. But the thing to me that really stands out as these people being best friends is the fact that Eliza straight up fucks this fish man, and her friends, Zelda and Giles, are just like, cool. All right, that's, yeah.
There's
Good
not
for you. Good for you.
normal. They're just like,
No.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's one part where she explains to Giles why she needs his help getting
What?
him out.
Yeah.
Getting the fish man out, the amphibian fish man.
About how
he's
he's-
called the amphibian man, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Is it really
That's
his? It's just amphibian man.
yeah, he doesn't have a name. He's played by Doug Jones.
It's
by
just
the
Doug
way.
Who's
Jones
amazing.
playing
Love Doug
Yeah.
Jones.
The very similar looking thing from Hellboy.
Oh, from Hellboy. Yeah. Yeah.
But he doesn't talk in this one.
Yeah. Hellboy 2, great movie.
Great movie.
But we're not talking about
That's
that right
my
now.
TV show choice, actually.
Hellboy 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Nick, no, that's not a
That's
TV show. We
that's a
can't do
movie.
that.
You can't
You
do
broke
that.
the system.
We
First
tried.
podcast you already ruined.
But
I'm
there-
shocked we got this far.
Yeah. There's a scene in which Eliza just fills up her bathroom with water, and then Giles sees all the water leaking, gets yelled at by people. He goes in,
Yeah.
opens the door, the water comes out. He sees her just standing there, in which Eliza just fills up her bathroom with water, and then Giles sees all the water leaking, gets yelled at by people. He goes in,
Yeah.
opens the door, the water comes out. He sees her just standing there naked with the amphibian guy, and then the next scene is just him like, my hair grew back. Like, he doesn't even talk about the fact that they were fucking. He was just like, he walks in on his best friend fucking a fish man, and then all he can talk about is how the fish man regrew his hair. Like,
That is
if
kind of
that's
selfish.
if that's
yeah.
not
It's a
best
little
friends,
selfish.
then
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what is.
But still very accepting.
Best friends can definitely be selfish with each other. That happens.
That's fair, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that you're comfortable enough to ask for your own needs.
Yes.
That is,
Absolutely.
I think,
true.
probably
Self-advocating. at its
Exactly.
finest.
the cornerstone of any healthy friendship.
Strong boundaries make closer relationships.
That is true.
Whoa, that is some Oprah stuff.
Dude, Brene Brown. Check
That's her job
She's
title.
She's a shame and vulnerability researcher, and she writes a lot of books and stuff.
I
Yeah.
mean, I was going to say, like, so am I, but
Yeah.
I don't publish it or anything.
I think every comic is a shame and vulnerability researcher.
Yeah, we're doing active field
Yeah,
research
exactly.
out in the field, feeling ashamed all the time.
Yeah, I guess it is very, I guess I am publishing it weekly.
Yeah, you are.
Just, oh, God, that's depressing.
Oh, can I list open mics as a publication credit?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Great.
If we're doing it based on bad feelings, then yes.
I rest my initial argument into why Shape of Water should win for best friends. If
Okay.
you'd like to try to match that with your pick.
Wow, Shelby's already overconfident. No, she's rightfully confident. Okay. Best friends, which kind of works out well for my choice because community is all about friendship, and not just friendship, but about who we choose to kind of let into our lives and who we choose to let kind of change us for the better or worse, because these people are all kind of toxic and insane. But community is mostly about people who are different coming together and being friends and changing each other in good and productive ways. And I could honestly talk about any pairing or any group. I could talk about all of them. I could talk about just their friendships with each other as one big group, but I kind of decided to choose and kind of focus on Troy and Abed
Obviously.
as the best of the best of best friends. Danny Pudi and Donald Glover as Troy and Abed. Well, Abed and Troy. And so the great thing about them is when the show starts, Troy he's a jock. He's the prom king. He's a kind of an asshole too. He's a 19-year-old. He has Asperger's. He has a lot of different anxiety issues.
He has feelings.
But he does. But he doesn't know how to get them out.
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of the answers and a lot of the arguments I'm going to make today are going to be Troy-centric, because I think Troy's kind of the
is
heart
Troy
of the show.
the crux of the show for you?
I don't know if he's the crux. Britta's kind of the crux of the show for me because she's the biggest mess. And I think
feel like the show really changed when he left.
yes, that was the end of the show. Really,
Yeah,
I feel
it
like
really was for me. It just wasn't the same without him.
I take offense to that because I have a huge crush on Paget Brewster. So
I love
anything with
Paget Brewster. I wish she had been in the whole show. Paget Brewster's amazing. But I feel like Troy's the character who kind of changes the most throughout the show. And I feel like his change is kind of the most earned of all the kind of transformations that go on. And I feel like it's mostly earned because of his friendship with Abed. Because it lets big, hard, and a geek Troy who lets himself get excited about the things that he wants to get excited about.
Right.
And there are just countless examples.
It's the
from
transformation we all have during college.
And we
Well,
all.
some of us never have.
We
Yeah.
all start out
But
as
it's
the
a-
prom
I was
king.
the prom king, and I was a jock.
Yeah.
And I
played
met-
every sport.
I
I
played.
can name so many of
Can
them.
you name all the sports you played?
I played I was in the marching band.
So Troy and Abed, they have their own fake TV show in the morning. Troy and Abed in the morning. They make merchandise for it. They
Hence
have
the mug we have in front of us.
hence
right now.
the mug that I needed to bring with me. They have the best handshake ever created by best friends with
it's
like
so good. I
the
love
chest
that.
slap. If there weren't two microphones in front of me, I would do it with either of you right now.
Oh.
Slap. If there weren't two microphones in front of me, I would do it with either of you right now.
Oh.
They moved in together in season 3, and they ended up needing to use their second bedroom. They didn't have a bedroom together because they needed an imaginarium, which was a safe space for them to go in and have all their fake adventures in their head.
Yeah.
And so to make up for that, they sleep in a blanket fort in the living room that is closed off by sheets, and there's just a bunk bed inside of it.
Oh, it's the best.
And that's where they do their rapping. There's like a funny line during the Glee episode where Annie kind of sticks her head in and she goes, "Hey, you guys rapping?" Because it just means that's just a regular activity that they do in there. And all of their tags are really great at the end of their episodes. And there's one where Abed is just reading to Troy, and he's kind of falling asleep on the couch, and then Abed stops and he like puts the book down and he puts a blanket on top of Troy, and then he turns the light off, and this where Abed is just reading to Troy, and he's kind of falling asleep on the couch, and then Abed stops and he like puts the book down and he puts a blanket on top of Troy, and then he turns the light off, and this is all in the study room, and then he's leaving, and then before he walks out the door, Troy goes, "Abed?" And he's like, "Yeah, Troy." And he's like, "Can I get a glass of water?" And he goes, "Sure." And then he walks away, and then that's the end of the episode.
Aww.
It's a very adorable friendship, and at a certain point, you know, it kind of changes both the characters. Abed more frustratingly, because Abed's kind of a bad guy sometimes.
Yeah.
He's very
Oh, sure.
selfish. And even when he becomes awful, Troy defends him and like goes out of his way for him time and time again. Troy is always getting Abed out of trouble
That's
because
true.
Abed sometimes can be a little bit selfish, but Troy,
I don't know that it's selfish. I think he's just compulsive. And he can't help it when something comes to his mind. He has to do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that that's selfish. It's just, you know what I mean?
I think that Troy would fuck the fish.
Troy would for sure.
And
Troy
I think
would
that
fuck the
Abed
fish.
might be jealous at first because he also wants to fuck the fish. But, I mean, you know.
That's interesting. Which community friendship pairings do you think would be most and least okay with a fish fucking scenario?
Anything involving Shirley.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Shirley's the most judgmental.
Yeah,
she would be like, "You fucked a fish. That's not
You're
okay."
going to hell.
Annie
Yeah.
would not like it very much, but she would probably be able to be convinced into it.
She would
Pierce,
probably do. I think Annie would. It would
She
be like
would-
unexpectedly. She would fuck the fish. It
she
turns
would
out at the end,
100%
she
be
fucked
the one who
fish.
fell in love with the fish.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Okay, so Annie fucked the fish. Britta would be okay with it. She would
She would
pretend.
be jealous that the fish didn't fuck
Yes.
her.
Yes, that's true.
And she would like try to like people would like maybe she wasn't fully okay with it, but she would have to try even harder than everyone else to convince everyone that she was okay with it.
Right.
Pierce would be into it.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Right.
Pierce would be into it.
Yeah.
Jeff would be jealous that he wasn't fucked by Annie. He would be
Right.
jealous of the fish man.
Yeah.
And Troy and Abed would be 100% supportive.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the episode it would be Jeff being like, "You know what? The fishman deserve like he, you know,
Good for you,
he's
fishman."
Good
Yeah.
for you, fishman.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You got a
come
good
to
game.
terms with
The fish man gets around now. I
Yeah.
like that. Good for him.
Good for Doug Jones.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I think Troy and Abed are the clear picture perfect example in a television show of best friends.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think I'm
that concludes round 1.
That was really good.
Thank you. All right. So let's.
I mean, you practiced for hours.
I practiced.
before, so.
I'm like okay. So I've been taking toy toddler xylophone lessons since I was 14 years old. My parents through this journey.
Wow, they're very supportive.
Yeah, and like I was like, man, like sometimes I still doubt myself. I'm like, what if I'm not good enough at this to really like, deserve that kind of support from my parents? But then I hear myself play and I just everything changes.
Everything just
I think
lights
this
up
is
inside
just,
you.
I mean, standard artistry,
Yeah.
creative genius anxiety. Like that
Yeah.
happens when
The
you're really
imposter
good at
syndrome.
something. Yeah, you really are afraid. Like, and that makes sense. I get it. You're amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
Thank
the
you
better
so
you
much.
are at something, the more anxiety you have about it.
And that's why even just looking at this fox-shaped toy xylophone
It's beautiful.
that I bought in
Yeah.
the baby toys section of Target. Again,
Of
shout
Target,
out
yeah,
Target.
yeah.
I
mean-
get a red card.
Whenever I embark on creating a new cardboard corrugated 12 gauge box
Yeah.
that I don't know why my friend didn't ask me if she wanted to purchase in before making this podcast, but I really care a lot about making boxes, but I think, oh my god, do these suck? Is no one going to buy them? Even if I tell my friend that I've been making boxes lately.
Why did I move to China to make boxes?
Honestly, Nick, I know. I'm sorry.
I
You're kind
apprenticed
of
for
dragging
years.
me here, and you're dragging me, and I deserve it. I do deserve it.
little.
My thing was like I didn't know how if this podcast would turn out to be good, and so I didn't want you to have your box making abilities, all tied up in this podcast that could suck. And your boxes are amazing.
They're good, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So
that
good.
was some great.
You guys are
bullshit
so
you just-
supportive of each other.
All
I'm
right.
really envious of it. It's
Yo,
really nice.
you
It's
know
sweet
what?
to see, really. Even though you're talking about fake things, it's really like
Is there something you want us
the,
to-
The approval is so
Yeah.
real. Like that's the fun thing.
It is true.
I'm glad I spoke my feelings, my
Right.
fake feelings, and I feel fake validated. I spoke my feelings, my fake feelings, and I feel fake validated,
they're
and I'm glad that we
real-
fake talked.
They're real feelings
Yes.
about fake things,
Yes.
which is what this podcast is about.
Is that the title of your memoir?
Yeah,
The
real
fourth
feelings
one?
about
Oh,
fake
wow.
things.
That's
I have a
really
hard time
good.
distinguishing reality from fantasy when
Oh,
I
that
watch
explains a lot.
film. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? All right,
Okay.
All right.
round two.
Round two.
Warm, fuzzy feelings. Nick,
Warm, fuzzy-
take it away.
Okay, warm, fuzzy feelings. I kind of felt like these chosen criteria, these two best friends and warm, fuzzy feelings go well together because there's a lot of really sweet moments born of like genuine friendship in Community that even though it's created by a angry, surly, like unkempt kind of shitty guy. There's some really sweet, and they're all born of like really genuine friendship, which I think as we all get older and realize that making friendships as you get
It's
older
hard.
is really hard.
Oh,
But
yeah.
look at us here.
Look at us
Friends.
here,
Yeah.
friends, box makers, xylophone perfectionists, beard growers,
IMDb page havers.
IMDb page havers,
And we're
Terry
so
Crews
supportive.
having met her.
We are so supportive of you having an IMDb
Yeah.
page.
That means
That's
a
really
lot.
cool.
I really appreciate that.
I'm gonna leave sexy comments on it. Okay, so there's a moment in season 3. There's an episode which this whole episode is actually like not a great episode. It's like the foosball episode, and it's funny. It's got some good jokes in it, but
it's a
main
foosball tournament, right?
there's not a tournament. It's just Jeff gets into this arguing match with the Germans, played by Nick
that's
Kroll
right.
and 2 other guys, and they are playing the foosball.
They're all Nick Kroll.
They're all Nick Kroll, just like they might as well have been. But then so Shirley teaches Jeff how to play better. She takes him under her wing to teach him foosball, and then it turns out that and this is like an unlikely pairing because Shirley's not the most beloved character in the
Right.
show. But and her and Jeff kind of like there's been some good episodes about how they kind of actively don't spend time with each other. So in this one, it's like it's not the first pairing that you put together when you think of like
No, it's
super
not.
warm
I'm
and fuzzy feelings.
Pleasantly surprised that you chose it.
Yeah, do you guys remember this episode or like the last moments of the show?
I
No.
don't remember the last moment.
So what happens is there's a flashback, and it turns out that when they were younger, Shirley embarrassed the hell out of Jeff when they were playing foosball. And she like beat him really bad, and then in the game, and then hit him with the foosball stick and made him pee. But they didn't know each other's names because she was Big Cheddar and he was Tinkletown.
That's right.
So they discover this at that Mexican restaurant that they always go to, and so like they're like really angry at each other. And at first it just kind of seems like this like, oh, that's like a cute little origin story, whatever. And at first it just kind of seems like this, like, oh, that's like a cute little origin story, whatever, little throwaway. But then at the end of the episode, they have like this big, intense, like, anime fight with each other, like via foosball. And at the end, they're just like, you shouldn't worry about that. You're a perfectly fine person. So are you. And then, like, that's it. But then at the end, they kind of they beat the German people, like, in the way that that's not the important part. But then at the end, they're like, oh, what? Aren't you guys gonna keep playing foosball? And they're like, no, we're done with that now. We're gonna go see a movie. And then they walk off, like, hand in hand. And
that's nice.
Chevy Chase Pierce goes, when did they become such good friends? And then it cuts to them, and it's them walking away from the back hand in hand, but it's the kid actors playing them.
Oh, that's clever.
And it's
That's
very
Aw,
sweet.
I
sweet.
feel warm and fuzzy.
Isn't that
just hearing your
adorable?
argument? But mine's gonna be better. I have to, like, it's still a competition.
Do I have time for one more?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Go for it, Jay.
There's another really good moment in Troy when Troy turns 21. It's called like a mixology certification, and everyone gets drunk and embarrasses themselves in one way or another. And it's great because there's a moment where Britta and Jeff are arguing about which bar is better, and it turns out they're talking about the same bar. and then he's like, wait, so they're like, yeah, no, we were both, stupid. And then he's like, wait, I've spent all year thinking, like, trying to look up to you guys and thinking you guys knew everything, and it turns out you're just as stupid as I am. And they go, Dedoy. And he goes, Dedoy. But then, so he drops off Annie at her apartment, and there kind of at first was like a sexual tension between them.
Will they, won't they kind of thing.
Yeah.
A kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, that's a weird night. And she was like pretending to be someone else that night. And she's like, I don't know who I am. And then Troy, he says, you're Annie. You like puzzles and little monsters on your pencils and some guy named Mark Ruffalo. You're a fierce competitor and a sore loser. And you expect everyone to be better than who they are. And you expect yourself to be better.
Yeah, it's very poignant.
And then they hug. And it's like any thought of it being romantic is gone.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
replaced with this much richer little interaction.
Right, they have more empathy for each other
They-
as opposed to...
Yeah.
Their relationship has graduated to another level. So to speak.
Yeah, before
it's
that,
nice.
she says, like, we went to high school together for 4 years and you didn't know who I was.
But clearly he does know her.
But he does know who she is now. And it's very sweet. And those two never really... It's just another, which it goes into very good friendship. They end up living together and it's mostly fine, They living together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another good...
good
That's
one.
the one where Troy finds out that he's actually 22. Like,
No, he's actually 21, but he got it wrong because fifth grade is really hard for everyone, so everyone does it 2 years.
Yeah.
What, Mom? What else did you lie to me about?
Okay.
So those are my two. There's a lot of good, warm, fuzzy feelings, but that. So those are my two. There's a lot of good, warm, fuzzy feelings, but those are my two highlighted examples.
That's pretty good.
That is
pretty good, Shelby.
Allow me to take it in a different direction. I was a little concerned because best friends and warm fuzzy feelings are kind of related, and I wanted to be able to split those up. So for best friends, I talked about Eliza, played by Sally Hawkins. Did I call her Sally Fields earlier? I hope I didn't.
I
Did
hope
I
you
call her?
did, but I don't think you
Sally
did.
Hawkins. I think
Okay.
you did.
I feel like I would have.
Would have been amazing.
I would have heard.
I think we would have caught that, actually.
I would have been like, Forrest Gump's mom is in this.
Yeah, man. No, okay. So I wanted to talk about instead of her friends for warm fuzzy feelings, I wanted to talk about her relationship with the amphibious creature, with the amphibian man, with the fish god. Well, he's basically a god.
Yeah.
And they even say at the end of the movie, like,
Yeah.
oh, you are a god.
Yeah.
Like,
Got it. Fucking.
and
You
it
just
leads
like
into
watching Sally Hawkins masturbate also.
yeah.
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 Who doesn't?
Well, because it was like clearly like
Paddington.
it was clearly Pat. You don't know Paddington's a little fucking creep. He's a freak, Paddington.
Be ever so polite about it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the film.
She masturbates in front of him for
No.
like a good 10 minutes.
Oh wow, Sally Hawkins is in Paddington.
Yeah.
What about Paddington 2?
Yeah.
It's Sally Fields in Paddington 2. No. Anyway, I liked the masturbation scene because like usually that stuff's very like male gaze and like
Yeah, it's
supposed to be kind of pornographic. But this one is
Right.
very like clearly it's about her. She's just a lady who likes coming. You
Right.
know?
And she's got time while her eggs are boiling.
right. Exactly. She sets that egg-shaped timer.
She's
Lots of eggs. I love eggs. And actually, that's my first point about warm, fuzzy feeling.
Okay.
Is so there's a scene where she starts teaching the amphibian man sign language by Fuzzy Feeling is so there's a scene where she starts teaching the amphibian man sign language by leaving a hard-boiled egg for him. She takes such care and makes all of her hard-boiled eggs in the morning and masturbates while they're cooking. Yes. And then she brought them to work and to start like forming a bond with this creature who she knew was being tortured. She leaves him a little hard-boiled, like she cracks open a hard-boiled egg and like puts it there and waits for him to get it. And the amphibian man is kind of like freaked out and violent at first, right? Because he's getting tortured by like basically every human. He's
not having a good
He doesn't know that it's not poison.
Right. So he pops
that
up.
egg could literally explode in his stomach.
Yeah, exactly.
She teaches him the sign for egg. And he's like hissing at her and stuff. And she's just like so calm because she's coming from a place of knowing what this guy is going through. And she is patient with him, so calm because she's coming from a place of knowing what this guy is going through. And she is patient with him and lets him calm down and then still feeds him this egg. She comes in, she plays music for him and
Very
teaches him
sweet.
the sign for music. And that leads to a scene that gives me very warm, fuzzy feelings, which is she's mopping up in his little dungeon, his room.
Yes.
He's in a tank watching her, and she does a little dance number with the mop, and it's such a like vulnerable and sweet thing for her to do, where it's like, oh, she's doing this little performance for like this guy she has a crush on, which is so sweet. And I know that it's like he's a fish man, but it's still
when I first saw that movie, knowing, from seeing the trailer and understanding what the movie was about, knowing that they were going to fall in love and fuck, I thought that scene went a long, long way. Very sweet, and I feel like it did a lot of the emotional legwork of creating their relationship.
And it helps that she after that little thing, she like pushes the bucket against it and she's like, oh, are you okay? And like she goes and she like puts her hands up to the tank and his hands are up on the tank, and then the scientist, Hofstetter, played by Michael Stuhlbarg, he sees it, and him witnessing that interaction also, I think, plays into the audience accepting the relationship because he sees it and he's like, wow, you can tell it affects him. It's giving him warm, fuzzy feelings.
He's getting
the Russian spy giving him warm, fuzzy feelings. And so I had the warm, fuzzy feelings, which then all adds up to the part where after she's taken the fish man home with her and rescued him and is waiting to be able to release him, they're sitting at the table and she's feeding him eggs. She made eggs for him. He's eating them. Eggs for him. He's eating them.
Do you think he likes other food? Like,
I don't think she knows
what if he
what
really
else
likes
he could
like
eat.
a pulled pork
well,
sandwich?
dude, he liked that cat.
That is so.
He ate that cat.
That is.
He ate that cat's head.
He likes food. He just has no discerning taste.
Right.
And isn't Richard Jenkins like super cool with the fact that he just ate that cat?
Yeah.
It's like one of his cats, and he's like, "Ah, come on."
Well,
buddy."
yeah. He was like, I understand because but the thing is, this is a movie about people who understand what it's like to be othered.
Yes.
And so it's kind of
Absolutely.
all of these people understanding each other is kind of what it's all based on.
Actually,
And
so is Community.
whoa.
Oh my God.
Wow, that actually is correct. Wow, that's weird.
Oh my God,
How did that
are we
happen?
good at this?
No.
Or are we others and we just default pick things that have othered people?
Maybe, but we understand each other.
That's
A little
true.
from column A, a little from column B.
Sure. Yeah, we're all dead inside. No, it's okay. This is what makes us feel alive. So there's yeah, we're all dead inside. No, it's okay. This is what makes us feel alive. So they're sitting together, and she starts trying to sing to him, and it goes into this kind of fantasy sequence where they're singing and they're dancing together in this very like romantic, classic, big Hollywood, old-timey way. And it's just. And it goes into black and white, and it's so beautiful and touching and whimsical like the best way. And I know there are people who see stuff like that and they're like, I'm done with it. I've had enough.
Right.
Like I watched.
It's a little cheesy. It's a little hokey.
Yeah. I watched the movie with my boyfriend. I rewatched it last night, and he was like, I get it. Okay. And I was like,
I'm shocked.
You are personally offending me right now. This is so beautiful because I'm sitting there feeling the warm, fuzzy feelings. And just seeing the character go from someone who feels so alone to someone who an actual equal with and someone who sees her, which fucking feminist as fuck, where it's like this girl's like, oh, my equal is a god.
Yeah. That's
Hell
true.
yeah.
Something else that's actually funny is your movie is a movie that's kind of about movies. And Community is very much a television show that's about television shows.
Yeah.
They're very meta.
Yeah. Meta and other.
Is that still a word people use?
Yeah, sure, why not? We're doing it.
All right.
And I think it might speak to our tastes.
I think.
I can't wait till one of us picks something that the other one hates, and then we can tear it down at every.
Well,
that would be so
to be honest, I've thought about in the future, I might pick something I hate if I think I can
Yes.
win based on the arguments.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
It's a good debate strategy.
Like if a criteria is like makes me think most of Johnny Depp, in like a negative way, then I would.
We
pick
do
a
have
Johnny Depp
some
movie.
interest.
Johnny Depp, in like a negative way, then I
Yeah,
would.
we
pick a
do
Johnny
have
Depp movie.
some interesting criteria in there that would lead to us picking something.
Yeah,
So that's something to look forward to. Please listen to future episodes.
Yeah, it's gonna suck way more having to have a TV show you hate, having to watch that
I think
much.
that
of
would
a
be
TV
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
Well,
were
you
talk-
can. I mean, there's Wikipedia.
which I
Yeah.
have. We were talking
Which
earlier
you
about
have.
which I have read entire synopses of series on. Before we were rolling, you were saying about watching entire TV shows you hate.
Yeah.
And I've totally done that because I've watched all of the Gilmore Girls all the way through
Oh, my
wow.
a
gosh.
couple times, and I didn't hate it at first, but I had the completionist in me made me finish all of The West Wing.
Wow.
So you
And that-
you watched multiple shows where it's just people talking really fast
Yeah.
at each other.
Oh my god, and they're the worst.
Yeah.
Do you think it rubbed off on you, like in your comedy?
Oh Jesus Christ.
You
No,
start-
I don't
You start
think so.
calling
And I can't. I tried to watch the Gilmore Girls. My ex-wife really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And I just got tired of.
and that's how
listening.
your marriage fell apart.
It probably. It definitely didn't help.
You can
us
absolutely
stay
blame
together.
Amy Sherman Palladino for your marriage going to shit.
Yeah,
Don't even
and I
get me
will.
started on the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. No, I'm just kidding.
Have you watched that show?
I
It's a
watched.
good show.
Yeah, the first. Well, I mean, let's save it in case one of us chooses it for something.
You're right. You're right.
I did want to say, in addition to my warm fuzzy feeling thing, if you really want to feel some warm fuzzy feelings after watching The Shape of Water, please read Film Crit Hulk's article, "The 6 Shapes in the Shape of Water." I think it's what it's called, "The 6 Shapes of the Shape of Water." Film Crit Hulk writes these beautiful and
Yeah, I've read
typo-written articles
They're
about
like all in caps lock, right?
yeah, and about, I mean, not always, but like in movies and TV, and he does it from such like a vulnerable place because he's anonymous, and it's always a delight to him. Check it out.
Okay.
All right,
Got it?
I got it.
All right.
it's time for round 3.
It's time for round 3.
Best Penis Award. I gotta
Best
say,
penis.
I was so excited for this round because there is, I feel I was having a hard time thinking of a best penis, and then I woke up the other day, remembered this specific scene in The Shape of Water. Now keep in mind that Sally Hawkins' character, she doesn't speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had to find a way, and you know, if you didn't, when you look at the amphibian creature, he doesn't have, you can't see a penis. He doesn't have a
Right.
visible penis, right?
Which
So
I think is good because if he did, it would be very distracting.
it would
for the
be
whole movie.
Yeah.
really strange.
Yeah. It would be
right?
more distracting
They
than,
made
like-
the right choice visually.
Yeah, sure.
And then,
Am I disappointed? Yes.
but they clearly have sex, and people are gonna want to know, right? How are they having sex? So there is a scene in which Eliza explains to Zelda like exactly where the penis is and what, and I'm going to describe it to you right now. Listeners, you won't be able to see my hand motion, so please just bear with me as I please do these hand motions along with me. So what Sally Hawkins, so what Eliza does, she cups her hands together, pinky to pinky, edge of palm to edge of palm, with your, like, the tops of your hands facing out in front of you. All right? Like so. Then she slowly opens the finger side of that equation by rotating her wrists so her thumbs get closer together, creating a hole between her fingers in the front. Then she takes one hand, turns it into a finger gun, and then slowly rotates that finger gun forward so it's pointing out. thereby explaining exactly how the amphibian creature's penis comes out. Thereby explaining exactly how the amphibian creature's penis comes out of its shell so that they can have sex. And one of my favorite parts about that scene, first of all, best way to do that, because she doesn't talk and it would sound stupid to just explain it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's great that she doesn't talk for this visual representation of what the fish god's penis looks like. Next, Zelda's response is, never trust a man. Her whole thing is like, what? Does he even have one? She explains it, and then she's like, you can never trust a man.
Of course he has one, Octavius.
Yeah, I love that scene so much. Again, when I watched it with my boyfriend, he was like, that scene just happened. And I'm like, hell yeah, it did, and it was perfect.
Hell yeah, yeah.
And it's like you never see the penis, but he's so happy.
He's so happy.
After they fuck for the first time, she comes to work in red shoes instead of her usual black, and she's just like smiling, and that's when her friend is like, wait, what happened?
And she's like cum drunk at work still.
Hell yeah, dude.
Good for her. I mean,
Cum
get
drunk,
yours.
Cum drunk at work is a good Jimmy Buffett song.
Except it came on when I was eating at the restaurant with my parents, and we all just had to listen to it in silence.
It was live too. It was like the Jimmy Buffett. By restaurant, I assume you mean Margaritaville.
Is that the name of the restaurant? I thought it was called Cheeseburgers in Paradise.
Oh, he has both.
Oh.
Cheeseburgers in Paradise. I ate at that one
Yeah.
In Honolulu. And that is Jimmy Buffett's. It's so sad.
That was the adjective that sprung to mind. Yeah.
My first marriage, we didn't have a lot of money, so we had to do things on
I'm
the
not
cheap.
trying to laugh at your.
I was.
Ah,
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, good. Because
I mean, you have to laugh, right?
Yeah.
Have to laugh, right?
Yeah. At a certain
You
point.
gotta laugh.
Yeah.
you gotta.
I know it's a very
succinct.
succinct argument, but I think that gives it weight because it's just this one scene that's all you need to describe why the Shape of Water has the best penis in the movie.
That is a very good penis.
It's that I'm worried for you, Nick. I am.
It's a very good penis, indeed. Is it the best penis?
I would say yes.
We'll see. Okay. For my last argument for Best Penis Award, I actually kind of go in a different direction as Shelby, where she has one succinct argument. I actually decided to be a little bit interpretive with this one, and I have two.
Penis.
I have two strong penisary examples for the Best Penis Award. The first of which is...
He as the penis.
Now, just let me explain. Jim Rash,
I mean,
if you've
he's
seen
bald.
the show, he is very bald.
Yeah.
His entire body, which is in good shape, and he likes to show off very often, is hairless. He's completely hairless, and he resembles a penis, and he is also like a weird pansexual, lustful, like creature of obsessive sexual habit. And
like penis.
he just kind of wants to, he's pansexual, and he just kind of wants to like get pleasure and like feel like excitement from anywhere he possibly can. He's got some of the most inappropriate and weird lines that like shouldn't be funny if you just read them like on paper, but Jim Rash is very, very funny, so
the delivery is great.
he makes them really good, like a line where he says, "Now I have to audit the entire system this weekend for shenanigans."
The delivery is great.
He makes them really good, like a line where he says, "Now I have to audit the entire system this weekend for shenanigans. Bye-bye weekend. Bye-bye writing in a Starbucks till a certain Persian barista asks me about my novel." And he also says he's in love with Jeffrey Winger, and he tries to fuck him and just touch him at
All the
any
time.
moment.
Yep.
And he's got a line where he says, "I always dreamed of playing charades with you, Jeffrey, but not like this, and not on dry land."
That is very good.
And I don't know if
Charades
you
on a
guys,
boat.
and to sink the fact that he is a penis, and one of the best, is there's an episode where Jeff Winger starts taking these anti-anxiety meds, and he becomes more attractive. And he puts on aviator sunglasses, and when the dean sees him, he literally falls to the ground and starts convulsing in a full body orgasm. And he looks and he goes, even his shadow, even the shadow. So he literally orgasms on the floor. Of the school. So he is a penis.
That's pretty good.
So your argument is that character is like the human embodiment
equivalent
of
a penis. Absolutely.
Cool.
And then for my second part, I decided to be a little bit interpretive, and I decided to think of it kind of as like best dick award, and I decided to make it a little bit meta because that's what this asshole would do, and I also give it to Dan Harmon, the creator of the show, because let's face it, Dan Harmon is undeniably talented and smart and seemingly understands human pathos and empathy, but he's a real fucking prick.
Yeah.
And he's gone on the record and, admitted to a lot of wrongdoing that he's done with former employees. Megan Gans in particular, who wrote the bottle episode, the cooperative calligraphy episode, where they do the bottle episode because the pen is missing, which I almost chose that for a warm and fuzzy moment. But she was like, everyone writes it, but she's like the sole like credited writer, and he like had, he just like made working for, like, I don't know the story, I wasn't there, but Dan Harmon has like a very troubled working. He got fired from the show after season 3 because he was so difficult to work with that they fired him from his own show, NBC, and replaced him. And season 4 is like a widely derided season.
People don't like it. When I watched it, I was like, this doesn't seem that much worse than...
It didn't seem...
No. It was pretty bad for me. The gas leak year is what it's referred
that's
to
what they call
as.
it, the gas leak year.
And I agree with that 100%. I really did not like that season.
There's some episodes that I think are kind of like still pretty good, and there's some things in it that I enjoy, but overall it's not great. But then it's not like Community. I never went past season 3.
Okay.
I mostly just stuck to season 2, to be honest, because that's where all the most like emotionally rich material is.
Yeah,
that's when they were in their stride.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to like them, but yeah, Dan Harmon, he's super talented, but he can't create a...
So he is the penis.
He also gets a best penis award.
Is he the best though?
Maybe not the best, but he's
the best at being the worst.
He might be the best dick though, because he
Okay.
is very
Yeah.
wide.
He's
He's
very
very
good
talented,
We're
but
using
very
synonyms now.
Yes.
yeah. This was the one I was a little interpretive with.
Sure.
I decided
It's
to.
I support it.
Little
Yeah.
stretch.
I support it.
Like a penis. It's
Thank
a little
you.
stretch.
It's a grower, not a shower.
I don't know anything about that. Also, I would like to also. I'm really glad I remembered this. When I first met Jon Morrow, I kind of commented that I thought he looked a little bit like Dan Harmon's younger brother who like took care of himself. Like Dan Harmon's younger brother who like took care of himself slightly and didn't fully hate himself. And I wanted, and his nickname is Stan Harmon. So that's what I would like.
It's just because you have gray in your beard.
It's mostly the gray in the beard,
mostly.
but you do look like you could be
we
like
could be related.
You're also
You guys-
a white man.
Yeah.
you guys
exactly.
could play Dungeons and Dragons together.
I mean,
probably.
I would.
Yeah, you would.
Can
But
we
he would
play
have to-
Dungeons?
Can we after
He
this?
can't.
Can we
He
just
can't.
end this
Yeah.
podcast right now?
Yeah.
Dan Harmon can't
this
be the
is the
dungeon
first
master,
and last episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We can
Yeah.
we can just have Dan drop in every now and then.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan.
Dan, you know.
Yeah.
We're on a first name basis.
We're on a first name basis.
now. Or we just call him Best Penis. We got a Best
Yeah,
Penis.
what's up, Best
drop.
Peen?
I'm just kidding though. He's not the best penis.
We call him
Clearly, the
B-Peen.
hidden fish penis is the best penis.
We're gonna.
That was a good round. That was
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I think this
I think
is
we-
the end of round 3, and that leads us to our judgment round.
All right.
So what we're
It can go down right
we
now.
have 3 rounds, so one of us is gonna win at least 2 of them.
It's mathematically
Unless there's like some
proven.
kind of tie, we don't really know what's gonna happen.
Hopefully
this is our first
there's
episode.
not a tie. I guess that's the kind of thing we could have figured out.
No, we didn't. Well, we could have a tiebreaker challenge at some point. We will look into it. Okay, so
We're looking into.
whoever wins with the 2 winner picks is good. Their champion becomes the winner for the episode. The loser, we've decided ahead of time based on John's suggestion. The loser, since we all do open mic comedy, the loser will have to entirely improvise their next open mic set, which
we should record.
We'll all be presents for. We will record
We will
it.
record
Maybe
it.
it'll
Put it on
be-
the next podcast.
And maybe
Yeah.
put the most
If you're
painful
willing to
moments on the next
and listen to
podcast.
it.
Well, or we could release it as a little extra thing.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
see how it
That'd be
goes. So those are the stakes we're working with here. If there is a shutout,
If there's a shutout, then holy shit.
then it's gonna be
Then holy shit.
even
Something.
more intense. The stakes are higher for a shutout. We don't know what they are yet.
We don't know what those stakes are yet, but they are
But we'll
so
figure
high.
it out. And so without any more dilly-dallying.
Are we dillying or dallying, John? Are you ready?
John, we'd love to hear our winners.
Do you
All
think
right.
you know?
Oh, I've got it.
Wow.
I'm good. All
All right.
I am going to start with what I felt was the most obvious winner,
Okay.
which is the Best Penis Award.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is going to go to Shelby.
Hell yeah.
Because it is a literal physical penis,
Yeah.
as opposed to, which I will grant you was
Uh-huh.
an amazing argument
I-
for figurative penises. Like it was really strong, and there was a part of me that wanted to sway that way just because it was clever.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe Fish Dick is more clever
I-
than Guillermo del Toro did.
I'm
going
gonna
to
hang this award on my
So
wall.
let's just make sure that everyone is aware that
And Guillermo del Toro did a
I'm
good
gonna
job.
hang this award on my
So
wall.
let's just make sure that everyone is aware that John prefers literal penises, whether they be fish or not,
Yeah.
over figurative
I feel
penises.
like most people are. I feel like that's most people.
Yeah,
Just in
no,
general.
I mean, if you
agree.
disagree, tweet at us.
Do we have a Twitter?
Not yet, but we'll throw that out
We're
there.
gonna get it.
Okay,
All
so the next one that I'm going to go with is the Warm Fuzzy Feeling
Warm
Award.
and fuzzy feelings.
So, Warm and Fuzzy Feelings, this one was tough. I think you both had very sound arguments, and you did a lot of research, and I'm genuinely impressed by that one. There's a lot of really great scenes in both movies that I think really do tug at the heartstrings a bit. But I am going to give this one to Nick.
All right.
Because I think the scenes that you talked about are great. Like the fantasy scene is wonderful. Like it's brilliant.
It's very warm and it's very
But
fuzzy.
but I think the payoff of the foosball episode is what won me over and earned over the course of that's the problem I think with a movie versus a television show is they have a lot more time
It's a
on a
numbers
television
game,
show.
yeah.
And movies just don't have the time to commit to building relationships like
That
that.
just means I had to make a better argument.
And-
so
and-
it's
and
my
absolutely.
my feeling and Nick's success.
By the third season, there's a lot more to go with.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah, I accept, and I
did
am
great with that was like 40 minutes into the nervous. So it's still,
Yeah. Okay. Last one. Best
Oh,
friends.
Jesus.
Okay,
All right,
what's gonna happen?
Who's nervous? Who's nervous?
I'm so nervous.
I'm terrified right now. I'm just staring Shelby dead in the eyes,
It's kind
knowing
of creepy.
that this is gonna. No, I'm gonna stare John in the eyes now.
All right, so
All right.
you both had amazing best friends. I think
Yeah.
it's really I think this is probably like you guys chose really well. This category alone, I think, speaks to your level of choosing. I think you did a great job.
We're choosersons over here.
But-
We're so good at it.
But again, I think this is another one.
Choosersons over here.
But-
We're so good at it.
But again, I think this is another one of those things where a television show just has more time to develop. So I'm going to give that one to Nick.
Oh my
no!
God! It's oh my goodness.
I start out a loser.
Holy, you start.
But those are
But
really,
on the plus side, I do not.
That doesn't help me, Nick. What does help me is honestly, sometimes I do improvise my open mics.
Oh, the cat's out of the
you
bag.
will be.
But no, I won't even have any idea of what I'm going to talk about. So that's definitely more difficult. I'm scared and excited.
Excited?
Yeah,
Do you feel
and
a
I
twinge
feel-
of excitement?
I feel even though I lost, I feel like a winner because I have the Best Penis Award.
You
And
did
I-
win Best Penis Award.
That is a pretty great.
To be
one
completely
win, I
honest,
think.
when you said Shape of Water, my knee-jerk reaction was, I will lose.
Right.
I thought, but I think if it weren't for Troy, I might not have been able to win Best Friends.
So that concludes the judgment for the first episode.
Oh, I
and
have won once.
and you won. And we're going to start. We'll have a spreadsheet that will keep track of
Yeah,
this.
we're keeping score, guys.
And our last thing we're going to do is have John add some items into our battle box. And then Jon
battle box will
Morrow
grow.
is going to choose our battles for the
Yes.
next episode.
Yes.
They will be chosen randomly from the battle box.
From the battle box.
All right, we have John's battles added to the box, and now he's going to draw from a pool of a few things I've added, a few things Nick has added, and we're going to find out our 3 battles for the next episode. So just pull, don't look, and then you can read them to us.
All right. Number 1. This is should be a video game.
Should be a video game. I believe I wrote that one.
Shelby wrote that one. Should be a video game.
All right. The next one is spiciness.
Spiciness.
You guys were really excited about that.
I think that might have been like the first one we ever jokingly said.
Okay, and then number 3 is makes me want to eat.
Oh,
I think
that was
Nick.
Mine. Well, we didn't get any of John's in there, but that's okay because they're in there for next time.
They are in there forever.
I'm very excited. So that's it. Our battles for the next episode are should be a video game, spiciness, and makes me want to eat.
Oh, Jesus.
I will be choosing a TV show next time.
And I will be choosing a movie.
Great. And John will be gone.
John won't be here.
But his presence will be
anymore.
felt in
His
the
presence-
battle box until all 3 of his battles are chosen.
Yeah, we are actually going to.
I won't
Presence
be with
will
us
be
anymore.
felt in
His
the battle
presence-
box until all 3 of his battles are chosen.
Yeah, we are actually going to steal part of his essence, as you would, and put it in the battle box so that he is still here.
Steal some of my essence?
Oh yeah, you're
soul.
gonna come into the box.
Your soul.
Oh! I thought. Oh.
Wow.
I mean, like I'm going to.
You know, sometimes I think you guys are on the same
Encapsulate.
page,
No.
and then you're not at all.
That wasn't. I thought. I'm sorry. There
Yeah.
was real
I
misunderstanding.
definitely would have expected
there.
that more from him.
You know.
But now I'm getting to
I have
know
hidden
you.
depths. I contain multitudes, like Walt Whitman, motherfucker.
I'm choosing Walt Whitman for my next movie, coincidentally. So.
John, is there anything you'd like to plug? I can't tell you when this is coming out, but
yeah, this
we
could
don't know
come out.
yet.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram both. My handle for both is follow Jon Morrow.
Awesome. Twitter, R2Shelby2, and Instagram. Twitter and Instagram, R2Shelby2.
And I don't have a Twitter because I had to delete it at one point because my phone was old and I didn't have any battery left. But I'm on Instagram at Fast and Garrulous.
Great. And then if we have a show Twitter, we'll add it in there.
Then that will
We're
exist.
Yeah.
Well, we will have a show Twitter. I think we should. And that concludes the first episode.
The first contest of content.
It's been great.
It's been
you
amazing.
You guys have been really good.
John, I think you've been very good. And
Stop
Shelby,
it.
I think you also have been very good.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Join us next time. Let us know if you disagreed with our picks,
Yeah.
what you would have picked, and have fun out there.
Yeah, argue a lot online about it and have fun.
Already be in your feed, but if you just can't wait to see some behind the scenes photos or disagree with our judges in the comments, please follow us on Instagram at Contest of Content and Twitter at Contest_content. Our theme music is by Richard Rosenthal and our podcast art is by Corey Fisher. Thanks for listening.